Hi, welcome to School of Addiction. Today's topic is no one is coming to save you, and that's your power. For those who are new to the channel, my name is Ashley Bloxham. I'm a therapist. I specialise in childhood and trauma, but I also am an addictions counsellor. I've overcame addiction. I think that's the most important qualification I've got, but I've also studied it right the way up to PhD level. And I also know what it's like to have a loved one who's struggling in addiction. So I understand it from multiple angles. So today's topic is no one is coming to save you, and that is your power. I think sometimes we're just waiting for that thing to happen so that we can stop. We're waiting for rock bottom to happen, or we can sit in addiction recovery thinking this is so shit and feel so helpless. But when we accept the fact that we are the only person who can save us, we are the only person who can make a difference. That's not saying healthcare professionals don't have their place, but we have to be the one that decides to go and use them. We have to be the one who decides that, okay, my life right now is pretty fucking shit. Like, that's the top and bottom of it. And I deserve a better life, and I am going to do whatever it takes to get that better life. And it has to come from you because it takes mad strength. And this isn't only just with addiction, but it's also with all mental health, which, let's be real, the two often go hand in hand. So we have to be the ones who take responsibility for our own lives and say we deserve better than this. So when we've made that decision, then we get to say, okay, I've decided this ain't happening anymore. This is not my life. Because remember, addiction recovery isn't just removing the addiction. It is about creating a life where addiction doesn't seem like the best option. One where addiction doesn't thrive. So we have to then make the decision of, okay, I deserve a better life. How am I going to make that happen? And we can't make that happen overnight, but what we can do is we can make it happen with loads of really small, easy, manageable micro changes that we stack on top of each other. And the first place I would say to look is, what is the relationship with myself like? Because when I'm going to remove this addiction that's been numbing us out, the first thing that I'm going to be faced with is myself. Do I like myself? And if you don't like yourself, work out, how can I like myself? How do I like ourselves? We do things that we are proud of. We say kind things to ourselves so that we don't feel like I'm a dickhead. If you're talking shit to yourself, you're going to think you're a dickhead. So start to be kind to yourself. Start to give yourself grace. And just slowly but surely take stock of everything in your life and ask, does this fit in alignment with the life that I deserve as a human being? Right, let's see what people are saying. Hi, Royal, how you doing? Royal saying hello to everyone. Hi, Richard. Royal saying hi to Ricardo. Oh, I just called you Richard. Hi, Ricardo. Fuck's sake. I'm really sorry about I'm so bad with names. It's dyslexia, but I try. That's the main thing. God loves a trier. You have beautiful hair. Thank you. I've recently been trying to go back to my natural hair. Whatever that is. I don't even know what my natural hair is, so just finding out. Good morning. Oh, morning, Double Tap. How you doing? Love you too. Hope all is well. It is good. Well, how's it going with your channel? Double Tap's make music, by the way. You should all follow him. It's all about recovery. So yeah, and help a fellow person out who's trying to change the life up for the rest. So yeah, give his page a quick browse and subscribe. Jason, honey, I'm home. Hello, Jason. Nice to see you again. One of me OJs. Sultan Beck's best accent. I'm a little bit snotty. It's a bit of a snotty accent at the moment. UCL. I don't know how to say that. Hi, beauty. Hello. Thank you. So many compliments. I'm gonna have a big head at the end of this. Hi, Dawn. How you doing? Nice to see you again. Did you manage to check out that site that I sent you, by the way, Dawn? Noah, my age is 23 and I want to travel the world, but I only have visited 8 countries so far. I love that for you. I went travelling. I did interrailing. It was so fun. It was so fun. It was, yeah. And I think when you're young, you should be just packing in as many experiences as possible. You only live once. And I cannot say, like, even though I ended up with, like, a raging drug addiction, I've got to say, don't regret my 20s. Like, pack it out with as much fun as possible. You do not want to be getting bogged down with careers and the things that we're told we need. So love that for you. Sultan, like to hear you talking. Thank you. Are you single? I am single, but I am not ready to mingle. UCL, where are you from? Newcastle in England. Mazar, hi, nice to see you. Nice to see you too. Hello. Greetings to Germany. What am I drinking? Tea. I nearly lied. Coffee. I'm drinking coffee. It's my last vice. So I am a therapist. So if anyone's got any questions around addiction and mental health, do ask them. It's nice that everyone's saying hello and asking if I'm married, but that's not what I'm here for. I ain't here to find myself a man. A double tap. Thank you so much. It's going. God's timing and everything. Yes. Yeah, you've just got to keep ploughing through, don't you? A double tap. I just keep planting and keep sowing, you know. I believe God will bring the right people. Yeah, you just got to keep one foot in front of the other. And even if you're not religious, I saw who was it? David Hart. He was saying you will get your big moment. Like, if you just keep working at something, law of averages, you will get your big moment. And yeah, I'm the same. Like, I've just keep ploughing away for years of like, this is what I want to do. Like, you have only seen us on this channel for the last couple of months, but I've been working for years to get to this point. Dawn. Yes, I did take a screenshot of my score. I'll go check. Yeah, let us know. Right, I'm going to go to the bottom. See if has anyone got any questions around addiction and mental health? CS, what is it like to have alcohol addiction? Will it be like you can't control yourself? That's a really good question. Yeah, anyone who's got an addiction, let us know what your experience of it is. I wrote about this in a poem, and I think like that was the best way to describe it. It's like it feels like you're in quicksand. So when you realise you've got an addiction, because you're kind of just doing it recreationally, and then all of a sudden you think, oh, actually, I need to stop. This is getting a bit too excessive. And then you're like, oh, fuck, I can't. It feels like quicksand. You start to like struggle. And then the more you struggle, the worse it feels. Then you feel more shame. And then you lean into the addiction because that makes you feel good. And it's just this cycle of feeling shit, wanting to stop something and not being able to. And then you feel like, I don't know if this is everyone's experience, but it's an experience I've heard a lot, and it certainly was mine, is that you feel like a shit person. Like, you feel like, I'm broken, why can't I stop? And I think for me, certainly, I was training to be an addictions therapist when I developed an addiction. I was already like using multiple different drugs and alcohol, but like when I got an actual addiction to one thing that I couldn't stop, I just felt like, I am fucked here. Like, I am actually really fucking fucked. And it's so scary. Yeah. It's awful. It's actually really awful. Like, it's not something I would wish on somebody else, that's for sure. So AC is saying, how can you recover from if you're working with responsibilities high and critical with only over 13 hours each day constantly? How can you recover from? What do you mean by recover? I don't know if that's a typo or if I'm just not reading it right. But could you correct that so I'm answering the question correctly for you? A double tap saying, in my experience, alcohol wasn't my drug of choice, but it was definitely a huge part of my life until a few years ago. I've been clean. It was a compromise. I need to let go of. Alcohol is a drug. Yeah, I had to get rid of alcohol. Like, alcohol wasn't my drug of choice either, but it was something that I definitely had an unhealthy relationship with. Like, it was doing us no favours, and I would go through phases, and my psychiatrist said it was linked with my bipolar. So if I'm hypomanic, I'm wanting to do it because it's fun, or if I'm having a low, it's like making us feel better. So it was definitely linked in with my mental health, which, like, for a lot of people, you know, addiction is. But yeah, I had to just get rid of it. It wasn't helping us at all, and it was just a nuisance. Alcohol was a nuisance. Sometimes I was fun, Ashley, and then other times, like, I was just waking up the next day with, like, riddled with anxiety, hating myself, maybe saying things out of character, like not having the same temperament that I would normally have, to say the least. Any subtitles? I don't know how YouTube works. So if anyone, casual, no offense to helping, but my experience is different. Look, everybody, yeah, I get that, casual, and like that's why I said like in my experience, everyone's experience is so different, and you know we have to be real about this. Like just because something works for one person doesn't mean it works for another. Just because I experienced it like this doesn't mean that you did, and like I absolutely wouldn't insult anyone and say that. So yeah, that's a fair point. But what was your experience like? Let us all know. Royal is saying, I need old school Cadillac because I used to be famous for low riders cars. Or Cadillac, as that say. I think he said that's how you spell Cadillac. That looked like a foreign word to us. What do you do to ride the wave? So currently I've just quit vaping, so I'm literally going through it now. So what I've been doing is just literally, so when we've like talking about riding the wave, when we're feeling anxiety, which is essentially what a craving is, it's just intense anxiety. It's our limbic system is firing off in our brain, which is like our brain's alarm bells, like something is up, get me whatever it is, I need it. So the best thing to do is engage your prefrontal cortex. So limbic system's all impulsive, in the here and now, this needs to be done. Your prefrontal cortex, like particularly your anterior prefrontal cortex, is a part of your brain which is responsible for long-term thinking, rational thinking, and impulse control. So like really important. So if we think about long-term thinking and rational thinking, what I've been doing when I've been getting a craving is I've been taking a deep breath, breathing out longer than I'm breathing in. So I'm relaxing my nervous system, intentionally relaxing my body, putting my head up, my shoulders back, like getting my game face on, essentially. And this is called a power pose. Breathe, get my game face on. And I've just been saying to myself, you don't want to do that. Like, you're doing great. We ain't going down that. And I'm just giving myself a firm but encouraging pep talk because that's engaging my prefrontal cortex. And yeah, that is literally how I've been tackling it head on. And then I'm like, right, what? And if it feels too intense, I'm like, what we're going to do to distract ourselves? So I'm literally coaching myself through it. So imagining it is like, I've got someone who's come to us for mentorship and they're like, I'm struggling with this. Every time I have a craving, can you help us? And I'm like, yeah, I can. I'm going to tell you, crack on with it. We're not doing that. And I'm going to say it in a nice way. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. What about other people? How do they deal with it? And like, look, distraction is a big part of that. So I don't just sit there like white knuckling through the craving. I have a quick brief word with myself to like engage my prefrontal cortex. Then I distract and do something productive. And then I praise myself as well. Like, I'll literally praise myself and be like, you've done fucking amazing. Like, this is, and a way to do that is to have like an app where it counts your days. So I'm like you have done like 6 days, you're doing fucking amazing. Like, really firm, encouraging, but fair instruction. What's other people doing? How have they gotten over the riding the wave? So like intense cravings, especially in the initial part, because it's really hard in that beginning part. Like, we just feel like shit and it feels kind of impossible. I think especially until you've done it before, it really feels impossible. And is saying still not clear which accent is. Geordie, Newcastle, North England. Casual, you're doing great, by the way. Thank you. Dan's Mego saying, do you have any activities or hobbies? Yeah, jiu-jitsu. So something I did because I've quit vaping is I've bought myself like a jiu-jitsu doll. Like, it's like a little dummy off Amazon. So I've been like practicing that every, like when I'm saying distract, like I literally going on like I've like all my algorithm on Instagram is like jiu-jitsu, so I'm going on that and then just practicing a move or practicing something I've learned in class. So yeah, I've got jiu-jitsu. I'm really spiritual, so I've got like a few little hobbies like that. I've got a 4-year-old, me dogs. Self-care. Like, I love just doing little self-care stuff. Ginger ninja. My friends call us that, you know, little ginger ninja. And because I have to cut my nails off, they keep calling me fighting hands. My little ginger ninja fighting hands. You'll love Dragon Ball Z. I've never watched Dragon Ball Z. I do love Pokemon, and my son's 4. I've got him into Pokemon, and that is another little thing that we love to do. Can you ask what my drug of choice was? Yeah, ketamine. Although I just loved the sesh. Like, I literally was alcohol, any drugs, like pills. I used to fucking love pills. It's just pills aren't really practical to get addicted to. Although I do know people who've been addicted to MDMA. But yeah, I just used to love being off my nut, like planet off my nut. Please take me there. That was what I loved. And I loved it until it was just the most fucking horrific thing ever. Because then I was, yeah, in knee deep in addiction, which I did not love. It was not worth it. So yeah, now I just love nature. I love just being present. Do you know what I fucking love now? What I'm addicted to now? The feeling of, like, I don't need drugs and I still feel mint. Like, that is such a good feeling. Like, I'm addicted to make me life as mint as possible. I'm addicted to self-help and, like, connections with my friends and family and stuff. Yeah. Son's father, my son's father is out of the picture. Sorry, I'm just laughing because I was seeing this meme and it's like, I am the most calm, like my friend said, she's never seen us kick off. I am so fucking calm until someone pushes my button, and if somebody pushes my button too many times, I fucking flip. And my son's father has pushed my button far too many times, and I literally try and practice Zen so much, but he's like that. I'm like, will you just fuck off? So I was just like laughing thinking about that. My son's dad is the best dad in the world, and he's amazing, but fucking hell. And he's just, me and him just... But it's a good training ground to practice Zen, but I'm still very much learning that skill. Casual saying, oh, I feel that, yeah. And look, I do that to him as well. That's the problem. We're both hitting each other's buttons just by existing. Like, but you've got, yeah, Chris is saying you've got to make it work. And this is the thing, this is what I'll say about my son's dad. We both really try. It's not just like him being a cunt and me, like, we both try our best. Like, I see him try, like, his anger boiling and he's trying to, like, push it down. We'll have to hang up on each other, but, like, fucking hell, it is hard. But we both love our son and we both try our best. So, yeah. Yeah, God bless my child. Yeah, we both try. The thing is, my son's really fucking loved. Like, really fucking loved. And both of us do try for him. So, yeah. He's not a bad person. I think this is the thing. Like, I'm trying to teach my son, we don't always get on with everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't naturally just get on with everyone. And that's okay. But, like, we have to be polite to everyone. And, like, Mum's trying her best. He's not doing anything to you personally, double tap saying, he's just doing what he does. Principles, yeah, this is the thing. He's not. It's a really difficult relationship, like, co-parenting, and, like, I feel for anyone going through it, because realistically, if you've been in a relationship, you just don't want to see the fucker ever again. Like, ideally, you go live your life over there and I'll live it here, and you have to learn to work it out, and it's really difficult. It's a difficult relationship to navigate. Not for everyone. For me, it has been, but we're both trying, and, like, honestly, like, that's the best anyone can do. And my mum and dad were, like, really good. Like, they both came to my graduation, and they both managed to put the stuff aside and get on with each other, and we'd go Christmas shopping all as a family and just do all these activities together. And my dad said that it took them a few years. So I'll just keep thinking in my head, just keep trying, you will prevail. He's saved us on my phone, his name, and then it says take a breath, and that reminds us every time he rings just to breathe, access to Zen. Miss Alive, my parents are divorced. My parents wouldn't have talked to each other if me and my brother didn't exist. Yeah, and Yeah, and look, we just need to practice at things at life. Like, we need to practice things. It's a good training ground. So, anything that, if we've got that co-worker or that, just somebody, a sister, that fucking annoying auntie or uncle, whoever it is, like, Dr. Chatterjee talks about this. He's like, treat life as a social gymnasium and just like practice skills. And like my son's dad's a really good social gymnasium. Like, I am really having to practice like being calm and collected and not telling someone to fuck off. Like, it's good. It's good to practice with people. Yeah, a double tap, lol, that's wisdom. Breathe on the counter name. That's golden nugget for people sometimes taking notes. Yeah, so somebody's taking notes. We need to take a breath. And just know that, like, look, I am really calm and I'm also a counsellor. I've got 2 counselling degrees and I am not fucking perfect. Like, I would like to be the perfect, amazing person, but I'm not. So, like, nobody's perfect. I've been doing hard, intentional self-work for 7 years and I still struggle. I still got my struggles, so it's okay. We just need to try. DJ, which Beatle do you think was the best kisser? I would have been Paul. I think it would have been Paul. I don't know. I'm not from the 60s. I don't know too much about the Beatles. I do know that every song I hear I like. They're not my vibe. Like, Beatles aren't really my kind of man. Like scrawny little things with weird hairstyles. Breathe, deep breaths, yeah. Practice breathing, guys. Do you think you can love someone at a certain time but fall out of love with them? Absolutely. Look, I think, you know, I've got a lot of love for everyone. Like, I still have a lot of love for my son's dad. Like, I only wish him love. I only wish him the best. But, and like all the people that's hurt, look, I'm not going to put, like, I've got like people who've caused sexual abuse. They are not in that category. But like, you can love people, but just being in love with somebody and being compatible with someone are really different things. So yeah, and I think also attraction. You know, attraction's a huge thing. Like, it's very unattractive if somebody's like, if you're not getting on with somebody, like, you can't expect to have that attraction if you're like tearing each other down every day. So yeah. Yeah, love is like, this is a thing in relationships. Like, you think about like unconditional love, but you've also got to have boundaries. So you can have unconditional love for somebody, but that doesn't mean you've got to have them in your life. Like, if someone's been a dick or you aren't getting on with each other, you're bringing out the worst in each other. Like, that's, yeah, like, naturally you're going to fall out of, I think it's more of attraction than love, I would say. I think you can just develop like an irritation that develops into hatred and a lack of attraction for someone, is my personal opinion. Jackie's saying another dumb woman. I think making sweeping statements like another dumb woman, I mean, is making us think like, that sounds dumb. That sounds very severely close-minded. Like, if you look at what intelligence is like, well, one, I think emotional intelligence, let's take that off the table, get different types of emotional intelligence. Clearly not accessible. But also open-mindedness. Like, you can't be intelligent and make sweeping statements like another dumb woman. But yeah. Some people are so funny, man. Especially on these lives. It's like, why... People will come on and they'll just start like saying things that you just wouldn't dream of saying to somebody. Like, why? It's so weird. The internet, an odd little space. I'm all for it though. Right, Miss Alive. I think I've never had real romantic love. Oh. I've had parental love and love from family and friends, but the one girl who I thought loved me and I loved her, it was just us being young and naive. Oh. Miss Alive. Love is great. I love love. Do you put yourself out there? Because I think it's a law of averages. Like, honestly, I dated about 50 people to find someone who was like mint, and then that didn't work for like life reasons. Like, you know, I think it is a law of averages. We've just got to start wading through it. Like, one thing you've got to accept is the likelihood of love literally knocking on your door is quite slim. Like, unless like you end up falling in love with the Amazon driver, delivery driver, like you do need to put ourselves out there. Miss a life. Even if that's just putting yourself in spaces to find people, like you don't need to go on apps, you can just like put yourself out and about, start talking to people. But yeah, I love love. Yeah, I hope you managed to find it. I'm a cool dude. Hope, not weird to say, but I used to a lot want to be matched with a female counsellor. Do you think this way of thinking is a man seeking help is misogyny, or how could you explain this? It could be a number of things. I think this is worth you exploring yourself, but like it could be a number of things. The first thing I thought is maybe it's that you feel safe and seen. Maybe that's it. It could relate back to like something that you've watched when you were younger. Like it could be so many different things. Like the psyche is a weird place. Misogyny though, what do you mean by misogyny? Look, ultimately you know you best, and like it's just all a counsellor does, and I'm not talking about like the fact that you fancy a counsellor, but like I couldn't diagnose why that is, but what I could do as a therapist is sit there and give you a space to explore it, because ultimately you know you best. So I would sit there and just explore. But yeah, maybe it's a case of like emotional intelligence or feeling safe and seen. Maybe and just see how that lands in your body. Talk it out with the AI. There's a really good app called Earkick. I used to be in partnership with them, but like I'm not getting paid by them. They genuinely are a good app. I approach them, and it's like a therapeutic app, AI app. But like you could just do it with ChatGPT and just explore why it might be. You should be famous, Ninja Face. Thank you. I don't know if I'd like it. I don't know if I'd like being famous. I'm too fucking weird to be in the public eye. Like I would just like not like the spotlight. Like a little bit's fine, but like not fucking yeah, being properly famous. And also it just looks like a bunch of knobheads, let's be real. A bunch of knobheads. Like no thanks. Catherine, I am so grateful for the negative experience that I had with love, because it makes me appreciate the amazing kind man I know I now have. I was so scared after being hurt, but I am so glad I tried again. Oh, that is what I am such a love bug, mate, and I've been like hurt so many times. I've like had so many shitty experiences, just with people in general, but I just like, yeah, I just keep thinking I know it'll be worth it when I find my right person. And you learn. I proactively sit there after every failed fucking relationship and think about like, right, what did I learn? What was good about that person? Like what bar did they set? Like what did I learn I want in a relationship, and what did I learn I don't want in a relationship? And what did I learn about myself? That's the most important. We learn so much about ourselves. So yeah. Miss I can't speak. Miss Evelina. Oh god, I'm just gonna call you Miss. Is saying, Miss has just gone, hey, compliment, you have great hair. Thank you. I'm trying to go back to my natural hair. Catherine, it's hard to trust again, but I had to work on myself a lot, and luckily he was patient and understanding. That's so cute. Oh, love that for you. He has been my best friend since year 9, and now we've been married for 10 years with me. Oh my god, that is so adorable. I love that. I love. That's so cute. Yeah, you need to find someone patient and kind. Definitely. Hug life, not drug life. Yes, hug life. I'm such a little love bug. Little hug love bug. I'll tell you a secret, Ashley. I've been crushing on a friend of mine from the UK. Her name is Emma, and you all talk the same. Oh, tell her. Have you told her? No, I don't want to have that responsibility in case it ruins the friendship. I'm getting a bit carried away here. She's in treatment right now, but I've been praying. Okay, she's in treatment. Oh, that is so cute. Well, maybe it'll happen in its own time, like you say, God's timing. I'm not religious, by the way, but I know you are. But I do believe in timing. Absolutely. Mace, I'd try to date, but my autism and ADHD makes it really nearly impossible to find love. I'm also autistic and ADHD. Find somebody else who's autistic and ADHD, although that comes with a whole host of issues. So the last person I was with hasn't been diagnosed, but pretty sure, like both pretty sure he's autistic and ADHD. Like I would be severely shocked if not. But then there was a whole host of like misunderstandings because when you're autistic and ADHD, it's like two very literal people. But like, yeah, find someone who understands you. So I think one thing I've had an issue with when being autistic and ADHD, what I relate to you with, is that people took what I was doing personally, like I was being mean or like whatever, and I wasn't. And like I was just severely misunderstood. Whereas at least with like somebody who's like also a bit neurospicy, they can kind of understand and yeah. But like, look, any person is going to have the whole host of issues, and you kind of just have to find someone who's like, their issues are good enough to like withstand, basically. I haven't dated in 8 yet, but I would say law of averages. Like my advice with dating is law of averages. Like if you keep putting yourself out there, you will find someone. If you keep sitting there thinking, I'm too scared to find anyone, and you just sit like huddled in your little house with your million cats thinking like, oh, I'm scared because my heart's been broken, like then you're never going to you find someone. You never, like, put yourself out there, find someone. But it's okay to have heartbreak. Like heartbreak ends. I'm literally going through it now. It's bearable. Like it's awful and shit, but it ends. And if you sit there and feel it, like every time you feel upset, just literally sit there and feel it, and then like try and come up with a conclusion at the end of it. Like you feel better and you move through it. It's like addiction recovery. You get through it. Like Helen Fisher, I spoke about this on the channel the other day. Like it was like about breaking up with a toxic ex, and like not saying that my exes are toxic, but like Helen Fisher talks about this idea of attachment and addiction, and like we're scared to leave it because it's like love is like an addiction, and it lights up the same pathways in our brain. It's really painful and it feels like an addiction, and then you feel like you're going cold turkey on it. But just like addiction recovery, like you can get through it, especially if you're building your life up around it. Like you're doing things that bring you joy. Maybe use it as an excuse to start a new hobby, or like really double down on the things that you love in life and connections. Like you will come out of it. And then just start again. Put yourself out there because you will find someone. It is worth it. And Catherine, yes, everyone is beautifully unique, and everyone has some of their own quirks, but I do believe there's someone out there for everyone. Don't give up on hope, lovelies. Be open and be brave is important. Yeah, just in life. You will, like, Cher was talking about this, and she was saying, like, be badass in life, like, take chances, because she's like, now I'm old, I'm looking back, and you're never sitting there thinking, like, you might think, for fucking hell, I did that, or oh my god, look at that fucking idiot I dated. Like, you might sit there and think that, but you'll sit there back laughing about it, but you won't sit there thinking, like, you'll sit there thinking about, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd put myself out there more. And like, this might be love, it might be doing that career, they're doing that hobby, just doing that thing, just do more. And like, Cher is literally, I was fucking badass as well, but I wish I'd be more badass. Like, just try, everybody, keep, just whatever it is you want, whether it's love, career, you want to be sober, whatever it is, keep going for it and keep gunning for it, because you will find it. Let's see what else. Right. Being off the methadone for a month now, Game of Earth. I felt so trapped on that shit. It's all good now. I love that for you. I love that for you. How are you feeling? Because you're saying like you felt so trapped. I bet it feels like a relief. Like, the thing with methadone as well is like you kind of got off the heroin, and then you're stuck in this cycle of having to just do these fucking drops, and it's honestly, I don't know how you do it. I really don't know how you do it, but my best friend did it, and fucking hell, what a warrior. Hi Chris, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna just pin that comment. If you need help, go to my bio. Oh, I'm starting to get a bit tired, but I've learned if I just power through. Somebody sent us a juicy question about addiction or mental health, because I've learned if I power through, I'll get a second wind. PR saying, for fuck's sake, you are just a bad person. There is no ADHD. They've got brain scans which prove that there's ADHD. Like, get real. Go look it up. Like, look, I don't mind trolls on here, but I just think like it really bugs us when when people are just like making sweeping statements. So like if you look at ADHD, yeah, I'm gonna get my second wind from this because I'm gonna get a bit passionate here. If you look at ADHD, there's brain scans around ADHD. Like your brain does not work in the same way. Now there is debate around around why ADHD occurs, but for the most part, what the belief that makes sense to me most as a therapist who studied psychology, etc., is that it happens when you're a child. So Gabor Mate and quite a few other people in the field have this mode of thought that basically when you are a child and you were growing up in a state of chaos that is like right the way from abuse to just instability, that we're all having been a highly sensitive person, what happens is your brain develops in a state of fight or flight. So then what happens is like what fires together wires together. This is neuroplasticity. So if you were constantly in a state of fight or flight as a child, your brain is developing, it's going to develop fire together and wire together neurons, which is in alignment with fight or flight. Now look at what ADHD is. It is just hypervigilance, constantly looking about, scanning, working fast. It's like everything's really like this because you're constantly on a springboard waiting to go. And that is fight or flight. Think of it like a snake coiled, ready to pounce. So yeah, ADHD absolutely is a thing. Like you could argue that it's a social construct, like it's a bunch of symptoms which are grouped together. It's a social construct, the label, absolutely. But like to sit there and say it's not a thing, I think is just very, very naive. Yeah, just me, like a racehorse whose gate won't open. Exactly. And do you know what it is? Like, so I've got ADHD, and like for jiu-jitsu, like the level of focus I've got when I'm doing something, so learning something really difficult, like really hard to get it in. But like when I'm ready to like grapple with somebody, my focus is like ridiculously laser focus. And like that, like ADHD, because it's putting it in its natural habitat, fight or flight, excel in it. Like if people with ADHD are so fucking amazing at problem solving. Like if you put someone with ADHD in a crisis, they are cleaning up in ways that you just couldn't imagine. Like, but a lot of the time we're like a racehorse with the door shut. It's just not practical. It's not practical for everyday life. So Dave is saying, are you born with ADHD or do you get it as you grow up? No, you're not born with it. And actually ADHD is one of the few disorders which doesn't have a genetic component. So unlike like bipolar, autism, I've got schizophrenia, there's a genetic component to it. ADHD, depression and autism, ADHD, depression and addiction don't have a genetic component. But what it has, if you think of it like, so genes is like a gun. I say this all the time. So you think of genes, so like the gene is like a loaded gun. Environment is the trigger. So we might have genes that don't get activated. This is epigenetics. Oh, now I forgot how you say that. Epigenetics. Fucking hell. But what ADHD is a set of vulnerabilities and a circumstance. So it's not a gene, it's a set of vulnerabilities. So that looks like, it might be that you've got autism, so that you're sensitive, and then you've got like a chaotic childhood. It might be that you're a naturally sensitive person usually. So you could be very sensitive and very intelligent, and then you've got like a little bit of chaos, or it could be that you're growing up in repeated trauma, aka abuse. So ADHD is really predominant in abuse abusive households. It could be that you're really sensitive and you've got a very overbearing parent, or your parents are also neurodivergent, and like, so because they're neurodivergent, they've got emotional dysregulation. So yeah, it's a set of vulnerabilities and circumstances. So think of it like the perfect storm that then erupts, and your brain is developing during that storm to withstand a storm. So Wonder, I think I have autistic genes. Yeah, ADHD and autism do go hand in hand quite a lot of the time. It's not that you always, the two always coincide, but if you have autism, you're going to be naturally more of a sensitive person, which means then if you've got like a parent who's quite strict, or just like a parent who's quite chaotic, then that would naturally mean you, because autism needs that stability. Or it could just be that like sensory overload, like the world is like really, like, imagine, so as somebody who's autistic, sometimes the world feels like this, and you're like too much everywhere, especially like public situations. So imagine that at all times, not realizing that you're experiencing the world like that. That would make you feel hypervigilant, which then could make your brain develop in like ADHD. I just want to say though, like, I am not a psychiatrist, so this is like just my understanding from my own personal diagnosis and what I've learned about it. I haven't been trained in this. I just want to make that clear. So 34 of unmedicated ADHD male with very traumatic life. I hide so much, but it helps me stay calm. Yeah, I mean, downtime is so important. I love me time. I love to be around people, but I also love me. The thing with ADHD and autism, and my psychiatrist said this to us, was that it's like they kind of go against each other. So like ADHD is like really spontaneous and like sociable and thrives off like crowds and yeah, just fun. But then autism's like, leave me the fuck alone. I want structure, I want routine, and you've constantly got these like two individuals. It's almost like two like different people and like they're fighting for like who's going to be in control. So I think you need me time, and then also need to like have some kind of outlet. Is there supplements that can help? I haven't personally found any. I do take magnesium and melatonin. Do the work? No. I have creatine. Does it work? I mean, look, do I look like I don't have ADHD? No. So I think the best thing that's helped me, honestly, is learning to regulate my nervous system. Just learning to regulate my nervous system, and just learning to like just not be a dick to myself about it. Like, I used to shame myself, like call myself lazy, call myself a dickhead, be an arsehole to myself for being forgetful and scatty, and like now I just don't. I'm like, oh, I try and have a laugh at myself. I try and just like see it as being cute and endearing and focus on the good things. So just being kind to myself and regulate my nervous system is the best medicine, and unfortunately the only medicine out there. I have tried, actually, that is a lie. There obviously is medications you can have. So for some people it works. For me, it triggered bipolar. So yeah. What's other people's experience though? So that's just what's worked for me, and it's only somewhat worked. Ryan, the AI midwife, we will develop a sophisticated AI that's been trained for millions of data points from healthy and unhealthy human pregnancies. Yeah. And there's people who said that it'll be better, and like realistically, I could have done with an AI like an AI nanny. It would have been helpful, especially like in the beginning, especially as a neurodivergent mom, just to help, not to take over. Miss Alive is saying, my nose is so itchy today. My dad was super strict. He was an army man, served in Afghan. I think when he retired from the army with 2 young sons, the PTSD would make him so angry and violent. Yeah. And like, look, realistically, you've got to think. So I really feel for veterans. I used to work with them. The thing with veterans is like, you think we're talking about like rewiring your brain, like your brain gets wired. Now, a lot of people who go in the army, a lot of them are joining in 17, and they're like straight into it, and their brains are developing. So someone's brains develop up until 25 to 27. So their brain is developing, and like I said with ADHD, when you're developing your brain in a set of circumstances, like what fires together wires together, that then becomes your personality and your behaviors and how you show up in the world. Now, the type of training you need to serve in the army is very emotions down, like hyper vigilant, very similar to ADHD. If you think about it, like you've got to be alert, you've got to be on the ball, you've got to be organized, you know, time for shit, got to think on your feet. So the training veterans up to be like this, then also put them in war zones where a lot of them are getting situations PTSD. And again, it's very similar to ADHD. A lot of them having child abuse, not all, but a huge portion of them. And then the veterans are coming out of this and they're going into like Civvy Street, and all of a sudden, like they're in a permanent state of hypervigilance, yet they're in a place where hypervigilance now becomes detrimental. And hypervigilance is not a great parenting skill. It doesn't go hand in hand with soft, nurturing parenting, and it's really difficult. And it's not the veterans' fault, and it's not the children's fault, but it's really fucking hard. And I feel for both parties. And yeah, spoke about anger, like fight or flight, you know, like all that pent up hypervigilance, fight or flight. And a lot of veterans turn to addiction because that just numbs it out. I find it strange as my brother doesn't have ADHD and autism, but we live the same house with the same dad. Yeah, and look, maybe your brother this is where genes come into it. You know, maybe your brother just isn't a highly sensitive person. So you could have one person who's really sensitive and one person who isn't. But also you could have like apathetic and empathetic people. So different circumstances. So you might have, they did studies on, it was like, I think it was a tsunami. And they looked at children and like how they responded to the tsunami. And so half of the children went really empathetic, like really sensitive. So they like became severely in tune, like overly in tune with the surroundings. And the other half went apathetic. So they shut in. And if you think of it like anxious avoidant attachment styles, so you get some people get really anxious and they like, right, I need to like mold myself to my parents' needs or my caregivers' needs. I need to like become a chameleon and be on edge and, you know, like be hypersensitive to them. And then you get the avoidant who pulls back and is like, I can't rely on my parents, so I'm going to look after myself. I'm going to be hyper independent. I'm not going to show emotions. I'm not going to engage with them. So the different kind of adaptive responses to the same stimuli, because we're all very different. We're all different, and it's whatever works for that person is how they're going to then develop. And yeah. And also ADHD, you can have ADHD in two different ways. So you could have hyperactive. So there's ADHD type A, B, C. So you can have hyperactive, you can have inattentive, and then you can have a hybrid of them both. So it could be that they have that. It could be they're just very switched off from themselves and their emotions. The way your brain remembers safety becomes peaceful, and the way your brain remembers fear becomes a reaction to avoid the potential cause of previous fears, thus making the person behave erratically. Yeah. And we just have to, we have to like undo all of that somehow with trained professionals, preferably. John saying, I have paranoid schizophrenia onset. John Rambo, are you with a mental health team? First off, if not, like, it's worth just getting in touch. Like, there's no shame in getting in touch with like the crisis team or wherever you are. Like, I think that is the main thing. No one is coming to save me, but no one is coming to get me either. John, I know you might feel like this right now, and as somebody who's been sectioned there are people who, like, it's not about nobody coming to save me. It's about just reaching out for people. So you can still keep your agency. Like, you can still keep your agency in that, but it's about saying, right, who do I need to contact? So, like, for me, like, if I'm feeling stressed, like, we don't have to do it by ourselves. We are the expert in ourselves. John, you are the expert in you, and you are right. Like, you save yourself, but part of saving yourself is going to the right people. Do you know what I mean? Get a team on board. That's okay to do that. And, like, right now, like, if you want to have a one-to-one after this, put a comment on my content. I'll ring you straight after this live. And I'm not, like, it's up to you what you do, but, like, look, as somebody who's been sectioned, one thing that I learned was not reaching out for support right now can be really damaging, and that is part of saving yourself. John is just playing with you, miss. Might be, but I'm not gonna take I'm not gonna, as somebody who is being sectioned, like, that actually could not be playing as well. So I'm not gonna, like, I don't mind if people taking the piss, but if it's not, I'm not just gonna take the chance. Right, Scarface. I only say get the message out. I've decided, you only say get the message out. Get what message out? John Fitch. I've decided that when I have a thought that is uncomfortable, I have chosen that it doesn't belong to me, and I wait for it to go away. Yeah, we have 66,000 thoughts on average a day, and there ain't no way all of them are truth. Imagine it, just like a lot of the thoughts that we have, like, come from, we develop our belief system by the age of 7. Right? So the majority of our beliefs are hardwired into us by the age of 7. So a lot of the thoughts, and then from the age of 7, we are basically collecting evidence unconsciously which support these beliefs. And we deny and distort evidence which don't support it. So, for instance, if we have a belief that I am ugly, then we are, and anytime somebody says something that we are ugly, or we see some information that says, like, people with ginger hair are ugly, I'm just, like, use myself as an example. I don't think I'm ugly, but, like, somebody with ginger hair is ugly. That supports the belief, so we're going to keep that evidence, and then we're going to deny or distort it. So if somebody says you're beautiful, you're going to either say they're full of shit, deny it, or you're going to distort and say they're only saying that I'm beautiful because I've just been to the hairdressers today. So you deny or distort it. So these beliefs create our thoughts. So what I think of is, when a thought comes into my mind, is like, that is a 7-year-old's thought. I ain't living my life with what a 7-year-old's telling me to believe. Like, I've got a 4-year-old. He's not 4 of 7. I love him, but he's got very outlandish thoughts, and I absolutely adore him, and I think he's so valid. But if he was going to sit there and tell me that black is white, I ain't believing him. I'm like, right, I love you, but you're young. And that's the way to think about it. Like, this thought came from a very young version of myself. So we don't have to believe what a 7-year-old is saying to be true. And examine them thoughts. Take that thought to court. Why do I think like that? And when you've thought about why you think about that, think about what can I think instead, which is more in line with 36-year-old Ashley, not 7-year-old Ashley. OMW, you can control your thoughts, but you have right, if people, I'm just going to say, like, being dyslexic, capital letters is much harder for us to read, but I'll try. Right, you can control your thoughts, but you have 2 versions. One you manually control, like when reading a book, and one that is random, but you can't make them positive or negative by fixing yourself. But you can make them positive or negative or fixing yourself internally. Yeah, so we have, I would think of our thoughts as being subconscious, and, like, we can start to get conscious of it. But yeah, we do have thoughts. We have thoughts, but our thoughts are just basically, we think of it like we have a lens. We have these lens. The lens that we're looking through is the belief, and the thoughts is what we're seeing. So if we're looking through the lens of I am ugly, we will see things which we'll see things, the world through that lens. If you have the belief that I'm unlucky, you will see that that's the lens. You will see the world through the lens of I am unlucky, and you will like gravitate. So have you seen that? I talk about it in my channel a few times, but think of it like the yellow car theory. So if you have a yellow car, you start to see yellow cars because your brain is geared up to notice the things that we see. This is why gratitude sounds so lame, but it is such a good thing. Like if we start to be grateful, we start to see the world through the lens of gratitude. I am grateful for my life, aka I am lucky to be alive. My life is brilliant. Now, if we have the lens of like, I am unlovable, you'll start to see the world through that. Now, how we see the world is how we think about the world. That's our thoughts. How we see the world is how we behave in the world, our behaviors. If we start to change the lens, examine the lens, like, do we need this lens? Like these like weird fucking creepy glasses that I've been carrying around for like years. Like, do I need to wear them, or can I go out and buy some Ray-Bans, some cool ones? Some funky ones, some like rose tinted ones. Like, have I been looking through like these negative grey, like dirty, shitty, broken glasses, or can I get rid of them? OW, I loved a girl for 3 years, but her mother said I am not good for her. I do everything but now her mother is. I asked her to marry someone else now she left me, said sorry. Oh, fucking mothers-in-law, honestly. I hope I'm not one of their moms. I mean, sure, every time you think like something like maybe you get a taste of it when you're older and you think that's why, but like fucking hell. Yeah, when an interfering mom is a difficult thing to deal with, but also you've got to remember the person who's got the interfering mom is probably bitching to the mom about you. Like, let's be real. They're probably sitting there, instead of saying how they feel to you, they're probably going to the mom and going, she did this, he did this, he did that, or she did this and she did that, because they don't have a spine and they don't say it to your face. And then the mom's building up a picture of this horrible person who's dating my daughter, and really she's probably just not had the bollocks to tell you. So that's, like, it's not necessarily true, but like I would imagine, like, so that is something to tell yourself and just like be done. Because the top and bottom of it is, the reality is the mom is causing issues. That's the reality. It doesn't matter why. Dr. Chatterjee said we can create a narrative that's helpful. Use mine if you want. And that is probably likely as well. But you've got a narrative, you've got this mom, and the reality is she's causing issues. You've got this daughter who is saying she doesn't want to marry you. So that can't be your person. You cannot live a happy, fulfilled life with a knobhead acting like a puppeteer and somebody who doesn't want to be with you. So I know that that is like a really brutal way of saying it, but everybody deserves somebody who is all for you, who protects your name when you're not in the room, not slags you off. Like, if you're not in the room, they're protecting you, and you deserve somebody who wants to be with you. So that can't be your person. That it literally can't be. Unless they're going to go away and do some work and come back, and yeah. So that's what I would be telling myself. You deserve so much better. Blass is saying, sounds British with Irish or something interesting. It's Geordie with autism. Like a touch of autism in there. So like, I am from Newcastle. I don't sound like a Geordie though. So it's like almost like a weirdness to it, but I think that's like the autism, to be honest with you. Hello, please join us in prayer meditation for those in jail, especially the innocent immigrants in America. God bless. Love, Blue Eyes in Eyes Angel, good night. Or just everyone in jail. Like, honestly, I had a large part of my master's was criminology, and it is literally like a modern day asylum. Like it is ridiculous. Like I know somebody who's in jail who said it was literally like every single person has got mental health. And there's actually an agency that I worked with. So I used to be a private therapist, and there was a company, and what they were starting to do is test people in Durham for ADHD when they got locked up. For like, the first thing they did when they were in the cells overnight was test for ADHD, because it so goes hand in hand. Yeah, Jordan's saying, bro, just forget about the girl. She will always run off to her mother when she calls. Yeah, like, realistic. Like, look, I'm somebody who I would say I'm quite a healed person. Like, I actively work on being the best version of myself. And like, if you care about someone, you do not go slagging them off. Like, you absolutely go for advice when like stuff is getting really hard, but you don't sit there saying this and that about a person. If someone's going to their mom and they are slagging off their partner, they clearly don't have respect for you, or they've clearly not done the inner work to be the person you need them to be. Like, I don't go sitting there slagging my partner off to my family and my friends. Like, that's just not something you do. When you're a healed person and you care about that person, like, that person shouldn't matter to you. So like, literally, that girl can't be for you. If she's going off and her, because it's not just one person, let's be real. Like, I don't think as a mom, if my son had a girlfriend when he's grown up and he didn't like, and I might have an opinion and think I don't like them, but if my son was saying, I love this person, they're amazing, I wouldn't sit there going, like, tearing them down. Like, they're obviously saying something. Like, it doesn't come out of a vacuum. They're obviously sitting there bitching about you. And like, that's not what you need. Like, that is not a healthy relationship. You need to feel loved and supported, and like, you can trust your partner. So like, yeah, I agree with Jordan. That ain't your girl. Bro, forget the girl. Just to quote you, I do not say bro, by the way. I've always lived by that. You don't talk shit about your significant other to anyone, family included. Yeah, like, even when I have problems about like, if I'm in a relationship, I've got problems about my partner, and you have to then get to the point where you seek advice. And like, that is like last resort. Like, you go and you have respect for that person. Like, you literally, you defend them as if they're in the room. Like, this is why this might be happening. Like, you don't slag someone off you care about. Like, I would never slag off anyone that I care about. Like, not what, you will never hear me do that. I will defend the person that I slag off. And if I am saying something about that person, it's in a way of like, how can I approach saying this to the face? Like, and you need to realise, like, if somebody is treating you that way, they can't be your person, because it's going to erode trust. Like, if somebody's mom is constantly bitching, like, being horrible to you, and they are not defending you, how can that relationship ever work? Like, how can that ever work? Like, because realistically, it's not your job to defend you against the parents as well. Like, they need to be the person doing that. Like, if my dad was slagging off my partner, I would say, like, look, I actually like them, can you stop? So, you know, it's a two-way street. I talk shit about my ex until the day I die. Like, look, an ex is different. An ex is different. But I'm talking about a relationship. Like, we've got somebody who's just like sitting there feeling like, oh my God, I love this person, but this person is... The point I'm trying to say is... sometimes we romanticize people and we think this person is amazing, but actually, if we stop and look at the behavior, what we start to realize is, like, maybe that person isn't as amazing as we think. So we put somebody on a pedestal, and actually, if we really think about that, like, let's take that person off the pedestal and have some real open conversations with ourselves. So it's not so much what I'm saying about this person, like how you treat somebody, but like, really stop and think about, if this was my best friend, or if this was my kid, or like somebody dear to you, my mom or whatever, what would I really think about their behavior? If they were telling us about these behaviors, what would I really think about it? Like, what does this behavior say about them as a person? And try and do it from an objective standpoint, because realistically, so often when we're struggling in relationships to get over them, it's because we've got them on a pedestal and we've not put them where they belong. as a real human being. And then when we make them into a real human being, we start to think like, is this somebody that I want to be with? Or actually, is this person hurting us on a regular basis? Randy, there is the other side of the same coin, self-reflection, absolutely. Or yeah, always take accountability in everything. Like it's so important in any situation that we recognize that we've had a role to play, even if that role is that I stayed somewhere I shouldn't. So like, even if, and I know this is really controversial, but I've been through this. Like, if you've been in an abusive situation, like, unless a child, if you're in an abusive situation, or like like sexual abuse, but like I'm talking about like a relationship, we like, there is accountability to be had, because if we don't take accountability from the fact that I stayed in that situation, then we're never going to grow. Now, it's not to shame yourself by saying you're a bad person for staying, and like I really want to be clear about this, and this is something I've had to go through. It's about saying like, I didn't love myself enough to leave. So like, I need to work on that, because but it could be something more, like, so accountability can be, it doesn't need to be negative is what I'm saying. It could be that I didn't have boundaries, that I didn't love myself enough. But there's always accountability. And also on the flip side, it could be like, well, actually, that wasn't so great what I was doing. Like, I've had to have so many of those conversations with myself where I've had to say like, that was actually really shitty behaviour on my behalf, and like moving forward, it's probably best that I work on that, because like I'm not going to be able to try to have a healthy relationship with somebody if I'm still doing that. So like, one of my examples, very controlling. Like, I used to be micromanage everyone, and I used to get really annoyed if they weren't doing what I wanted to do, what I wanted, when I said, how I said. And I had to work on that. We have to take accountability. She also loved me, but she is forced by her parents, and I decided to let her go rather than forcing into a relationship. I wish her good life for who she'd be, but I love her my entire life. Oh, and I really feel for you, because heartbreak is so fucking painful. OW. Yeah, it's so rubbish. I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I've just realised as well, I've just thought as well from what I was saying, but like, it might be a cultural difference as well. Like, I know that's a thing, which I didn't consider before. It's really hard though. Like, heartbreak is really hard, but like, also another reflection. So anything bad that's happened, anytime something bad happens, like one door shuts, another opens. Like, the worst things that's happened in our life, if they didn't happen, the best things that happened after wouldn't have been able to happen. So like, do you know what I mean by that? Like, there's always, so like, say for instance, there must be, if there's something in your life that you love that's happened, like maybe you're in that amazing relationship, but you've went through like breaking up with somebody who you thought was the love of your life. Like, if that breakup didn't happen, you wouldn't have met this person. Or maybe you have a job that you thought like was the end of the world when you got sacked. That happened to me. Like, I was sacked from like my dream job, but now I'm doing this and I'm like, this is so much fucking better than that ever would have been. Like, so much fucking better. But that never would have happened if I didn't quit that dream job, because I wouldn't have went to uni. So I do think like sometimes as well, it's about saying, okay, that is really shit, but one door shuts, another opens. And that helps me, and try and reflect on times where that's happened in the past, so it feels like evidence. But I'm gonna have to go because I'm really tired. I'm so tired, and I don't want to, like, this is the point where I start like just talking shite. I'll leave on one thing. So Monkeys is saying, I went through a bad bitch. I lost a baddie, so my mindset recovering from a baddie. My mind is strong. Yeah, like addiction recovery. Just become a baddie. Become the baddie. Just be the baddie. Anyways, I'm gonna let yous go, and I will speak to yous all soon. I talk shit all the time. Yeah. The more fucking tired I get, the more shit I talk. So I try not to do that on the channel. But anyways, I'll speak to you soon, and if anyone could give us a subscribe, that would be helpful. And if there's anyone sent a comment that I've missed, just go on my website and I will reply. And I'll speak to you. And I'll be back tonight. Night at 9 p.m. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.